Hi, my name is Ed Foppe, and I'm a CLVS in the St. Louis area. And I've been doing video recording and trial presentation for the past 20 years. And I'm here today to kind of go over some of the items that I'll have with me on a daily basis. And so we'll just get started from there. So one of the things that, we always have our pens, etc. on us, but I kind of like to have like a kit. I'll have like a large bag of just different items that might be in my bag. So I like to have all different types of, colored markers for the client when they're looking to mark up some exhibits, and as well as black and maybe a fat black marker. I like to have the gel style of highlighter on me. If the cap comes off, it doesn't dry out, and I feel like I can highlight better with a gel marker. So that's one of the things I always like to have with me. Sometimes there's an erase board, and it's nice to have like an erase board marker with you. So that's nice to have with you as well. Here's a different item that not too many people are going to have with them. I have a little WD-40 pen. When you have that annoying chair in the room, or the swinging door in the courtroom that is just annoying everyone. So it doesn't take up a lot of space. Why not throw it in the bag? So those are some of the markers that I like to keep with me. I'm going to go over some of the laser pointers and presentation remotes that I have. As a new item that I picked up in the past year or so that I really like to have. We have our typical style of laser pointers, which we have, and I always like to keep them like in the box like this, and always like to take the batteries out so they're actually good when I need to use them. So that's kind of good practice to have. But laser pointers were great when we have projection screens, but a lot of those are being replaced by LED monitors, and so your standard laser pointer, you might see it on the screen, but it might be a lot more dimmer than showing it on a projection screen. So there's some other tools that have come out. Logitech has come out with what they call this Spotlight presentation remote, and it is really something that us guys in the courtroom really like to have. Trying to get all my guys equipped with these. And they're nice because you can connect this little transmitter to your laptop and or a receiver, and this will transmit a signal to your laptop. And when you connect the large LED monitor as a second monitor to your laptop, it'll allow you to illuminate like a laser pointer would on an LED screen. You can change the colors, you can change the size of how it's illuminated. Some of them have, this has a feature where you can actually zoom in on what's like in your little circle. So there's a lot of nice options. So it comes with software to easily install to make really great use of this. So it would be similar to like these other style of presentation remotes that we would use for advancing your PowerPoint presentation, and this would have the built-in LED laser pointer in it. But again, on an LED screen, not as useful. Still useful for advancing your PowerPoints, but if you want to be able to illuminate things on the LED screen, this really is the thing that you want to look at. For some of our old school clients, sometimes you give an attorney an electric device and they just don't want to have anything to do with it. You got some old school guys out there and they're trying to point to the screen with their fingers, and I'm like, well, hey, I still have this telescoping pointer, so it probably seems crazy to have one of these, but I like to still have it, and it gets used, and they like it to use it sometimes, so it's nice to have that along with you. Here's something that doesn't take up a lot of space in your bag, a little magnifying glass. Well, depositions in the courtroom, I've definitely used it in both, where you got that witness who's like, wow, I'm having a hard time reading this, right? It's a font 7 and it's been scanned in 2 times over. So it's a nice way to save the day, having just a little magnifying glass. I probably should get a cover for this one. This one's gotten a little scratched up over time, but still does the job and works. So you kind of look like the savior of the day when you have something like that. So chargers, you know, I think we all are going to have some type of charger in our bag for charging up our phones and all that. And this is maybe not the smallest one you can get, but it works for me. I like to have it. It has a couple USB ports on this one. I like this kind because it shows me how much charge I have in this pack, so I know where I stand. And one of the things I picked up this year, you know, we would have like a typical, you know, 16-inch cable or whatever, but I like this one. You got the coiled cable, kind of gives you that extra space. So USB-C to USB, I kind of use this for a lot of different things, not just my phone, but for other devices that I might be connecting up in the courtroom. Kind of like eliminates all that extra cable that you might have. So that's a nice little pickup. I'm an Android user, but you know, I'm always going to have different type of cables with me for Apple phones as well. This is still an Android cable, but I'm going to have that in my kit too as well. So I like these little braided cables. You know, you can get much lengthier cables now, and they still aren't going to take up a lot of room. So nice to have that with you, so you're not limited on length of cable. Cable ties. You know, a lot of us are always, we got several cables that we're putting in our bag, and kind of like to have things put together. And I've kind of, you know, have tried out different type of cable ties over time. This is one style that I've used over the years, and you know, they have all the different lengths of these, and these are called gear ties, Geartie, and they're made by Niteize, Niteize, and you can see you can get all different kinds of sizes. And I like using these. They won't last forever. You know, there's a wire that runs through these to kind of give them their hold, and they will like snap, you know, over time. So they won't last forever, but they're kind of nice, easy, low profile on your cables. You know, just give them a couple twists and you're ready to go. I used to use these cable cuffs more often, but they will fail too. You know, they have a hinge point and they'll just kind of snap or whatever over time, but they're nice to have. But they're a little more prominent when you put them on a cable. You kind of got that thing sticking out a little bit. So, but it's a quick connect to, you know, keeping your cables together. But I've used some different things. I've used like these rip ties. There's all different variations. If you look up rip tie, you'll see all different sizes of these, and you know, you can get like a kit of multiple sizes if that works for you. This is a nice kind of design here where you could thread it through on your cable, so it's always on your cable. So I kind of like that style the best. So I'm going to put this back on, get this out of our way. But another style I like, and this is just, I think, Velcro brand, and you can get these in just a spool. I've got a couple. I think that this is like, you know, when you buy these, they'll be this big, and I don't know, there's probably 50 plus zip ties on here, which is great. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and when you want one, you can just take this, kind of just rip this off, and I got a cable here that needs one, and in a similar fashion, you can kind of thread this through on your cable, and now it's always on your cable when you need it. So again, nice low profile, and I think that, you know, that's kind of more of what I'm using, I feel like this year. So and they last pretty well. You know, they're probably, I don't know, the Velcro will probably give out over time, but I like them. So I'll put those off to the side now. Always good to have a little pair of headphones on you. I know a lot of us use wireless, which I do too as well. But when I'm syncing video in the courtroom, I might be doing that. I can't rely on Bluetooth because there'd be a little slight delay. So I like still having, you know, the wired type of headphones with me, and not over. I don't need. This wouldn't be for video depositions. You know, there we'd be using an over the ear cuff type of headphones. But in the courtroom, for me, this is something I like to have. This is a nice little, when you need a surge protector, especially on the go, and something that doesn't take up a lot of room in your bag. This is one I've had for a while now. I like this style of outlet here because I can put it on and I can turn it, and which is really nice when you have like those large AC adapters that sometimes you put it in one port and it makes the adjacent ports no longer accessible because they're so big. So this, you can kind of swing it out of the way and still make use of the other port. It's got a couple USB ports on it, and I always like things that light up, you know, when you plug them in, so you know that your line is actually working. And this kind of folds out, folds back in, out of the way. Really nice to have with you. Business cards. You know, for me, I'm going to have 3 to 5 business cards in my wallet, but I don't want to haul a ton of business cards with me, so I like to have some way of keeping some extra business cards with me. So I've had this for a while, and I kind of like having it with me. So you always have the cards with you when you need them. Hard drive covers. You know, a lot of us have external hard drives with us, and you need to have them well protected. So this is a way to do that, having these nicely designed, kind of semi-hard type of covers for your hard drive, different sizes. Nice thing to have with you. This is an item that I got this year. I'm not a big fan of the keyboard on my laptop, and especially if I'm in a courtroom for a week plus trial. I picked up this little keyboard, and it's nice. It just connects by Bluetooth, and it connects really easily. You can see that it's really low profile. Doesn't make any noise typing any of the keys, and so it's just been really nice. It's a full keyboard, you know, so just a nice option for me, and so for someone who's looking for something similar to that, maybe you're not a big fan of your keyboard on your laptop, this is a nice option to have. SD cards need to be protected as well, and there's different ways to do that. Pelican makes these nice hard cases that'll fit like a dozen SD cards. So this has always been a go-to for myself for all the cards that I need to have with me. Sometimes you just want something smaller. You know, these smaller guys here might do the trick if you're looking for something that's a little smaller for your kit. Here's a couple like SD card readers. This is actually more of a full hub. I have a couple of these from Vava, V-A-V-A, and this is a USB-C hub. You know, a lot of our laptops don't have a lot of connectivity options on them, so you typically are going to have a USB-C connector, and it's nice having these little hubs with you so you have extra connectivity. You're going to have extra USB connections. You're going to have an HDMI connection. You might not even have that on some laptops. I'm seeing that go away. So you have a network connection here if you need it. You can read regular size SD cards, micro SD cards, and it has another USB-C port on this one as well. So these are nice and inexpensive. Gives you a lot more flexibility in where you can connect to your laptop. And this is just another like SD card style reader, and this will read all types of different SD cards. But this is just specifically more for that. But this kind of gives you that added flexibility with all those connectivity options. You know, sometimes we're hurting, or some people in the room are with us. So I always like to keep, you know, some aspirin or ibuprofen or in my bag to help people out as they need it. Some Kleenex, not a bad idea either. For myself, because I'm like in a courtroom, I need to have more options. So maybe this is a little bit more than what you might just carry in your laptop bag, but this would be like more in my case. And I'm gonna have things like extra batteries and some of the cable wraps that I mentioned to you, maybe some USB thumb drives, things of that nature. Here's another item I have in this kit. This is like an HDMI cable extender, kind of invaluable when you're in a room that has a cable wired to a TV that's on a wall and you don't have the ability to get to the ports. So this kind of allows you to extend it and connect your own HDMI cables, which can be very, very helpful. I get a lot of my kit cases from, let me get this one closed here, from like, we have Bass Pro Shop here, or you have REI, different type of Cabela's. I like going to those places in the fishing tackle section. You can get great types of cases. This one's from Plano. I use different cases like this one. This is watertight, and this is actually Plano as well, Plano. So these are nice to have. Not that I'm going to plan on fishing anything out of a lake that I need it to be watertight, but these are nice. They come with, you know, the foam that you can kind of cut out for devices that you're trying to put in. So you can kind of use these for all different types of reasons for things that you're bringing with you. And they got different sizes, different colors, things like that. So. Speaking, we were talking about hard drive protection, and likewise, you know, your laptop needs as much protection as you can give it. So, you know, if you have different padded cases or additional padded cases to put inside, you know, your laptop roller bag, that would be something to be thinking about. So any type of, you know, this is a second monitor type of pad that I have for this monitor. So anything you can do extra to protect your laptop is a good idea. You know, I'm always conscious of rolling that laptop roller bag on those sidewalks, and you're hitting those creases in the sidewalk, and I feel like the vibration that you are transmitting to your laptop is probably not the greatest idea. I know I've had a failure trying to power one up in a courtroom one day, and I'm like, I just kind of wonder about that. So I try to do extra. You know, a lot of times I'm bringing a cart of equipment, so I might be able to put my laptop bag on my cart, so it's experiencing less vibration. But there's other things you can do. You might have maybe a smaller shoulder type of bag for your laptop that you can put on your shoulder. I'm not a big fan of carrying a lot on my shoulder. I don't want to create problems for myself over time, so I try to prevent myself from doing that too much. But you know, there's a lot of great gamer style backpacks for your laptop. So this has nice padded straps on it. I got this one from North Face. last year. So this would be something to think about if you're trying to like cut down on or adding that extra protection for your laptop. Speaking of carrying bags or carrying cases, one of the nice gifts I got last year for my daughter were these travel tags. They're like hard metal travel tags that you can screw onto your suitcases. So when you're traveling, they're always there ready to go. So I kind of have those in all my bags. It's nice even like when you're in a courthouse and you're transporting a lot of equipment. It's nice to know that people can see that, oh, okay, this belongs to Ed Foppe. So those are nice things to have as well. Surge protectors. I like having these little guys. I like these little braided surge protectors. These newer ones, you know, in addition to your regular AC power outlets, you got USB and USB-C connections on these little guys. So these are nice, not taking up a lot of space in your bag. So this is a good option for a lot of folks. This is just a regular style one. I just like the low profile of this type of this APC surge protector. So those are a couple things. One of the things that I picked up this year were these Velcro runners, and of course, this is only going to be helpful for a room where you've got carpet. But this type of thing saves me a lot of gaffer's tape a year. So, and these are nice. I got like a bag of 6. This was relatively inexpensive from Amazon. And I don't know, they call it cable grip floor. I don't know what brand it was otherwise, but it's nice. These they come in 10-foot lengths. You just roll it on the carpet and it sticks to the carpet as you go along. It doesn't take any time at all to use it. Less time than putting tape down, to be honest with you. And when you're done, you just roll them back up. I know you may not need like 10 feet of it, but you can cut this down to any length that you want. And it just was a nice pickup. But you know, they're nice and light. They don't weigh anything. It certainly saves me from going through a lot of this tape, and this like weighs like probably 1.5 pounds when I first buy these suckers. So this has been a nice pickup this year. You know, lens wipes are always a good thing to have with you, whether it's your phone, your laptop, anything with a lens. Sometimes the attorneys' laptops are so disgusting that I'll say, hey, here's some wipes for your laptop. So always good to have these with you. This is a thing that I never thought that I needed, but I got it as a gift, I think a year or two ago. A battery caddy. I mean, this isn't something that you're going to be hauling around with you, but this is why I have it at home. And, you know, it has all your batteries that you need, that you ever thought you needed, along with a battery tester, so you can test real quick. Yes, this is a bad battery, and get rid of it. So I just thought it was a nice thing to show you. I know the court reporters are always going to have exhibit stickers with them, but I carry them with me too, even though I'm not a court reporter, just in case someone's running out of them, or you're there early and they're trying to get exhibits set up. So it's not that costly of an item. So even for the videographers, it's a good idea to maybe have those in your bag. I think that's about all that I wanted to share with you today. So hopefully this helps you in completing your kits and getting what you need. Oh, here's another item that I got recently before I close out. This is, you know, we talked about these USB-C hubs, and I like the powered hubs too. Like this is a version that allows me to connect like 4 drives, and it also has like a quick charge, you know, so if you want to connect your phone or second monitor just to this is nice. It has a indication of whether it's on or off, a lighted indication along the side, and it's powered. It seems like I'm able to copy data quicker with this powered type of hub. So this is from Rosonway, Rosonway. So, but that's another option that I kind of use on a regular basis. But I think that's all I have to show you today. So again, hopefully you're able to add to your kits and have what you need when you need it.